Hi there, welcome to live stream Yoga with Louise, tips and cues to keep you safe and strong on the mat. Today we're molding and shaping into the whole body. As always, play where you're comfortable, modify if you need to, rest by pausing the stream if need be. All right, let's hit the mat. We're going to set up for today's class coming into a 4-point kneeling frame on the mat. Make your way down onto the hands and the knees. Set up a nice long tabletop line. Make sure that your hands are stacking underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, and give me the longest line through your spine and your neck that you can comfortably manage. Look for that sense of length and then start playing through that tabletop line. On the inhale, curve your back, get a nice little stretch into the lower belly and the hip flexors, nice little stretch into the lower chin area, and then on the exhale, come through neutral spine, hollow out your belly, round out your back, and begin oscillating gently between those two frames. The hollow back, the cow frame, the hollow belly, the cat frame. Today, play at a 1-to-1 inhalation to exhalation ratio. Make sure that you're not slumping through the shoulders. So you're gently pushing the mat away with your palms and your knees the whole time as you're playing with that shape of your spine. Then find your way to stillness back in your tabletop line, looking for that sense of length. Focus on your lower belly. Relax your lower belly so that it feels like your belly button wants to tap the mat, and then pull it up. Relax, belly up. Relax, belly up. Relax, belly up. Keeping your spine as long as you can and just focusing totally on that lower belly area. Relaxing and gently pulling up navel to spine. End with that belly button pulled in. Keep that contraction, so belly button firmly pulled in. You're going to stretch the left leg and the right arm coming into extension and holding that stretch at a tabletop line. So not kicking through the line, making sure your arm, your neck, your back and your leg are on that beautiful long line. And then using this line to set up a modified gate line. Drop and anchor both hands into the mat and flip to the right. Restacking your right foot behind the right knee. Come into a modified gate or side plank. You can place your top hand on the hip and float your extended leg to hip height. Give me a little leg pull forward and backwards, as if you wanted to bring your toe towards your hip and back. Pretend that you're tugging on a little piece of string through the belly button to drive that movement. End with your leg back in extension, then give me a little knee tuck and back to extension. Knee tuck and back. Make sure you're keeping that height through the leg. I'm going to call that 6, 5. The toe stays nice and soft, but there's no clawing through the foot. And then let's think of combining those two movements together. Give me a leg pull and a knee tuck. Leg pull, knee tuck. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, one more, and then we'll take it into some active recovery. Peel your way back into a high kneeling frame. Let's keep the toes tucked under. Pretend that you're making a little fist and grabbing onto the tops of your pants as you find a high kneeling frame, and then stretch the pants up to the sky as you float off the center line. Keep that fist line and reach long through your fists as if you were trying to reach them to the wall in front of you. Give me a nice strong arm and pretend that you're really pulling onto those tights or your pants, trying to stretch them up to the sky. Let's do 2 more. Ease your way back to 4-point kneeling and start flowing through your cat-cow. Inhaling and exhaling as you play with the frame of your spine. Playing at a 1-to-1 inhalation to exhalation ratio today. Then end in your neutral spine. Relax your belly, pull it up. Relax your belly, pull it up. Focusing totally on that lower belly as you keep that length through the spine. Your gaze stays softly down between the 2 hands, but you're not dropping the head. So you're keeping that sense of length through the spine. Let's do 2 more. Then come to stillness with that belly pulled in and engaged. Let's extend the left arm and the right leg. Hold that tabletop line. Belly stays fused to your spine. Try to tap the wall in front of you and the wall behind you. And then use this line to set up your modified gait. Anchor both hands. Start pivoting left, stacking your left foot behind the knee and set up your gait line. Placing your top hand on your hip. Float the top leg up to hip height. You're going to give me a leg pull forward and back, forward and back. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, without losing the height of the leg, you're going to give me a knee tuck and back into extension. Knee tuck, extend. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, and then combine the 2 movements together, combining your leg pull and a little knee tuck. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Bleed your way back into a high kneeling frame, tucking the toes under. As you do so, place your hands on the top of your thighs. As you give me a lean back, you pull those pants up to the sky, giving me a long line from shoulder to fist. Make sure that you're getting a delicious stretch at the top of your thighs into the lower belly area. Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2 more, and then we're going to do some side work. As you complete the last one, find your way onto the side of your body. You can bring it all the way down onto the bottom arm, or you can give me a small pop. Bend your bottom leg and extend the top leg. Top leg is more or less in line with your hip. You're going to give me a slight turnout position on the leg. You're going to kick towards your nose and back to your start position. Keeping that turnout position and trying to keep the foot braced the whole time. One more like this, and then the same kick, but up to the sky and back. Up to the sky and back. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Combine those two movements together. Single kick to your nose, single kick to the sky. Nose, sky, as if you were tracing an L shape with your leg. I'm going to call that 6, 5. Keep belly to spine the whole time. 4, 3, 2. Last one, we're going to change the leg line. Extend the bottom leg, bend the top leg, reach from the front or from behind to ground the top leg into the mat. Float the bottom leg off the mat and keeping a soft brace into the foot, trace a little circular trace in one direction. Small little circle, maybe you're tracing the circumference of a tennis ball, at biggest, a really small soccer ball. Shoot for about 10 revolutions in one direction and then change it up and move in the other. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Come back to leg position 1 by bending the bottom leg and extending the top. Give me that turnout position on the top leg. Double kick towards your nose and back. Double kick and back. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Let's take it up to the sky. One more like this, and then we'll tie the two together. Double kick towards your nose, double kick to the sky. 9, 8, 7, 6. Keep belly to spine the whole time. 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. You're going to change your leg line again, extending the bottom leg, bending the top, holding onto that limb as you give me a couple of circles forward, bracing that foot softly. I'm going to call that 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Change it up. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, you're going to peel your way up from here into a high kneeling frame, and you're going to find a full camel stretch. You can keep whichever orientation on the mat you prefer. Support your lower back as you come into a gentle back bend. Maybe you'd like to tuck the toes under. Maybe you'd like to reach for the heels as you bump your hips forward. Find the camel line, full or supported, and just take a little stretch here for maybe a slow count of 10. Then ease your way from here onto side 2 to repeat that side work. Either giving me a small prop or using your bottom arm as a long pillow. Bend the bottom leg, extend the top, find the turnout position, and start giving me a single kick. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. We're going to change it up. Kick to the sky and back. Sky and back. Keeping that turnout position the whole time. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. We're going to combine those two movements together. Kick towards your hip and up to the sky. Hip and sky. Keep that turnout position. Change your leg position. Extend the bottom, bend the top. You can come down onto the mat if you need to, or you can keep that prop if you prefer. You're going to trace that teeny tiny circle with your bottom leg. Try to keep a soft brace into the foot today if you can. Shoot for 10 circles in one direction and then change it up. 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back to leg position 1. You're going to give me a double kick and back. Double kick and back. And if you're fatiguing, come down on that bottom arm. Play where you're comfortable. All right, let's shoot for the sky. Double kick to the sky and back. We're going to combine those two together. Last set. Then we're going to come into that little last leg line where you're going to extend the bottom leg, bend the top, grip the leg, and trace that little circle, keeping a soft brace into your foot today. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're going to change it up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Keep belly to spine. 4, 3, 2. Last one, we're going to find our little camel stretch. You're going to pick the camel of your choice. Supporting your back bend. Maybe the feet are relaxed behind you. Maybe you'd like to tuck the toes under. Maybe you'd like to reach for the heels and then bump your hips forward over your knees, trying to float the two shoulder blades together close along the midline. Holding your camel for maybe a soft count of 10. And then release your camel. Make sure that you've got enough room to come into a plank line on the mat. When we're playing with this series, the plank series, you're more than welcome to drop down onto the elbows and give me an elbow plank variant if you find the extended arm is too much for you. For our first one, we're going to find a wide plank line. So open up your hands a little bit wider than you usually would, and your feet a little bit wider than you usually would. Brace your core, make sure you're nice and strong here. Stay here or give me a single lift on the left and hold for 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, change arms. Hold 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 1. Come back to your plank. Lift the left leg for 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, change legs. Hold 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 1. Come back to your plank. Release to 4-point kneeling. Slide the arms on in if you need to so that they're underneath your shoulders. We're going to thread the needle. Big breath in. Float the the right arm up to the sky. And on an exhale, thread it underneath your armpit. Not pushing back or leaning forward. So keeping your hips stacked over your knees as you thread through. To rest the weight of your head gently into the mat, but use your core to hold the body weight. So gently coming to rest on the side of your head. Keep belly to spine. Inhale to come back to 4-point. Let's do that on the other side. Big breath in. Float the right arm up to the sky. Reach with your fingertips. On the exhale, thread through. Keep your hips stacked over your knees. Keep belly to spine. Pause here, resting softly on the side of your head, pulling belly to spine and trying to hold your body weight in the core. From here, find your way back to your plank line. You can take it a little bit wider if you need to, or you can hold a traditional plank. Find your plank, and you're going to tap the alternate hand to the opposite shoulder. Shooting for as close to 10 repetitions as you can manage. I'm going to call that 5, 4. You could execute from 4-point kneeling if you need to modify, if you find the full plank too much. Once you've done 10, come back to your plank line and tap the opposite foot. If this is too much, come back to 4-point kneeling. Lift one knee off the mat as you tap to the opposite foot. Pick your poison. Shooting for as close to 10 repetitions as you can comfortably manage, trying to keep the integrity of your plank line. I'm going to call that 3, 2, last one. Come back to your 4-point kneeling frame. Big breath in. Float the right arm up to the sky. Thread through. And then float the left arm up to the sky. Pause here. Reaching long through both arms. Keeping your hips stacked over your knees and your belly button firmly pulled in. Bleed your way back to your 4-point kneeling frame. Big breath in. Take the right arm up to the sky. Reach long. On the exhale, thread through. Keep your hips stacked over your knees. Keep your belly engaged. And then float the right arm up to the sky and hold this threaded stretch. Reach as long as you can through both sets of hands. Bleed your way gently back to your 4-point kneeling frame. The next one, we are going to play. You can either use a full plank or an elbow plank. This one is quite strenuous. You're going to find your plank line. You're going to give me a hip dip to each side, and then you're going to flip onto your side, hip dip. You're going to knife edge your feet, hip dip, side plank, hip dip, side plank, dip, dip, side plank, dip, dip, side plank. Trying to keep the hips at the same height the whole time, so you're not collapsing through the frame and dropping your bottom hip towards the floor as you come in to the side plank. Nice and strong through the arms. And you could modify and do this on the elbows if you prefer. If you need to be closer to the mat and your arms are feeling on the shaky side today. Let's do one more set. Find your way from here back into 4-point kneeling. We're going to thread. Take the right arm up to the sky. On the exhale, thread through. And then begin creeping your left fingertips towards the top end of the mat. Reach as long as you can, playing with that L frame through the arms, reaching long through both sets of hands. Keeping belly to spine, hips stacked over your knees, bum looking up to the sky. Bleed your way gently back to 4-point kneeling. Let's thread to the other side. Big breath in, take the left arm up to the sky. Thread through on the exhale. When you're ready, creep your right fingertips towards the top end of the mat and hold that L frame stretch. Feet are softly draped and parallel behind you. Belly button is pulled in firmly towards your spine, reaching long to both sets of hands. Then bleed your way back to 4-point kneeling. You're going to find your plank line. We're going to hold a modified side plank. So either full, or if you prefer, down on the elbow, and you're going to give me a surrender position on the top arm, tucking that hand behind your head. Stay and hold or play, drawing the bottom knee and the top elbow towards each other in a little crunch, and then coming back to extension, shooting for between 5 and 10 repetitions. 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, we're going to change sides. Find your plank, flip to the opposite side, set up your surrender position. When you're ready, begin crunching the bottom knee and the top elbow towards each other. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Find your way back to your plank line. Drop to 4-point kneeling. Big breath in. Float the right arm up to the sky. On the exhale, thread through. Keep hips over knees. And then sweep your left arm around to reach for the opposite hip and just hold the stretch here. Keep belly to spine. Bleed your way back. Big breath in. Float the left arm up to the ceiling. On the exhale, thread through. Then sweep your grounding arm behind you in one fluid motion, reaching for the opposite hip and holding your stretch. Feet softly draped, core strongly braced, hips stacked over your knees. Lead your way back to your kneeling frame. And then for the last one, let's all drop down to the elbows. You can either give me a flat palm or you can give me a fisted line when you come into position. You're going to float the right arm in so that it's parallel to the mat. Flat palm or fist. And then you're going to step your legs back into a side plank. You're going to knife edge your feet. You're going to bring your top arm close to your ear as you can, and then bend the elbow and reach. Bend the elbow and reach. When you bend the elbow, pretend that you're tapping with resistance against an imaginary wall. Try not to drop your hips to the floor, so keep the height of that plank. And of course, if you want to use a full arm line, you can. So dealer's choice. You still feel strong and the arms are not wobbling too much, go for it. You're going to shoot for as close to 10 repetitions as you can, and then you're going to set yourself up on the other side, either in the full expression or coming onto the elbow. after your last set, bleed your way back to a plank. Hold for 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. We're going to chill back in child. Relax your knees to the mat. Big toes together, knees softly splayed, and just gently wrap the arms around your body. Back of the hands connected to the mat, palms looking up, forehead softly connected to the mat. Or you could place a pillow or maybe a yoga block underneath your forehead if you need to. And just give your shoulders total rest. You're going to bleed your way from here into a seated frame. So when you're ready, maybe come through 4-point kneeling. Maybe tuck the toes under. Give me a little hop forward, so knees hovering off the floor, cross the feet behind you, and then take a seat in your mat. We're going to roll it down, and today let's do it from a V position. So if you know that your mat is on the thin side, if you've got a knobbly spine or a sensitive spine or a pronounced curvature of the lower back, give your lower back a little bit of support, roll up a hand towel. Let's execute from the V position today. So legs long and lengthened, heels together, and the toes just softly splayed up with a soft reach, but no clawing through the toes. Sit up nice and tall, shoulders over hips. Take a big breath in to prepare. On the exhale, nod your chin to your chest. Look down towards your belly button. Keep looking down towards your belly button and peel down one vertebra at a time. Floating the hands softly overhead, but not dropping into the mat. Keep that turn-out position. Inhale, halfway lift, so you're just off the shoulders. And then use the rest of your exhale to reach through your fingers, your toes, and your inner thighs. And then maybe give me just a little soft reach over your toes. Inhale to sit up nice and tall. Whole exhale to peel down with control. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale for the rest of the movement to give me a soft fold. Let's do 2 more, and you find a steady rhythm of your own, allowing your movement to follow your breath pattern. On your last roll down, you're going to end on the back. So if you do have any padding underneath your back, bend your knees, connect the soles of the feet, lift your bum up off the mat, and just slip that padding up. Set yourself up more or less in the middle of the mat. Bend your knees, connect the soles of your feet as if you were setting up a bridge line. In fact, our bridge is going to be our transition between core sets. We're going to take a big breath in, and on the exhale, we're going to tuck into a little ball. So think of scooping to peel up off the shoulders, drawing your knees towards your nose. Then hold that scoop position with your lower and your mid back imprinted and your weight off the shoulders, and begin playing with the arms and the legs, opening them up into a little V and then tucking back in, keeping that scoop frame the whole time. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Draw back to your start position with the arms at your side, the knees bent and the soles of the feet connected to the mat. Feet and knees hip-width distance apart with your spine comfortably in neutral. We're coming into a bridge hold and we'll play with it. Take a big breath in to prepare. On the exhale, start tilting your pelvis to the 12 o'clock position. Imprint your lower back. Keep curling your tailbone in towards your belly button as you start peeling your bum off the mat, starting to float the hips up towards the ceiling. When you reach the apex of your bridge, hold it. So you're pushing off your arms softly, almost resting the weight on your shoulder blades. The bum is piped up, hips are piped up nice and high. Keep both feet grounded into the mat as you squeeze the knees in towards the center line and open back up. The knees don't need to touch, just squeeze in. Pretend that you have a cushion or a yoga block between the two thighs and you're squeezing into it and coming back. Shoot for 10 slow and controlled squeezes. Trying to keep the integrity of the height, so not losing the height of your bridge line as you squeeze and release. All 10 toes firmly connected to the mat. Once you've done 10, relax or open up the shoulder blades, peel back down, leading with the back of your ribs, starting between the shoulder blades, leading all the way down, almost hollowing or scooping out your belly before tilting your pelvis back to the 12 o'clock position. Take a recovery breath or two. And then scoop back into that little ball you held in the previous round. Wrap both hands softly around the left knee while you extend the right leg softly at 45. And then begin changing sides, drawing one knee in only while extending the other leg. Keeping the integrity of that scoop position with your lower and your mid back imprinted, core strongly braced. Head and shoulders off the mat. Peel softly back down into your bridge setup. Tilt your pelvis to 12 o'clock. Start peeling up into your bridge line. Keep the feet fully grounded. Find the apex of your bridge and begin your squeeze into the center line and back. Keeping your chin nodded softly towards your chest. Playing with that squeeze in and then coming back to parallel. Not losing the height of your bridge. Maintaining that height. Keeping the whole foot on either side firmly grounded into the mat. Once you've done your 10 squeezes with control, leading with your ribs starting between the shoulder blades, peel down with control. Ease your way back into neutral spine. Take a recovery breath or two. Tuck both hands behind your head this time, elbows nice and wide, maybe interlacing the hands and making a nice basket of support for your head. Scoop to peel back up into that little tuck position, but the elbows stay wide. Bend the left leg, extend the right, and then crisscross pattern over as you start changing sides. Bending one knee, extending the other leg, and then on the diagonal, think knee to opposite elbow. Try to keep that scoop frame. So think lower and mid back imprinted, weight just off the shoulders, about 2 fingers of air between the chin and the chest. Shoot for between 5 to 10 repetitions of your little crisscross pattern. And then slowly draw back to the mat. Set up your bridge line. Feet connected to the mat. Feet and knees hip-width distance apart. Tilt your pelvis to 12 o'clock. Start rolling up into your bridge line. And as you find your bridge line, see if you can float all 10 toes off the mat and play with that squeeze into the center line and back. So you're softly pushing off your heels. The toes are disconnected from the mat. And you keep squeezing into the center line and coming back, shooting for between 5 and 10 repetitions. Trying not to lose the height of your bridge, keeping your chin nodded softly towards your chest and not looking to the side of the room when you're in this position. You don't want to tweak that neck. Then keeping all 10 toes off the mat, lead with the back of your ribs and peel back down. Only once you've found your way into neutral spine do you relax the feet back to the mat and take a recovery breath or two. Keep the arms at your side or tuck your hands palms down underneath your bottom if you need support for your lower back. You could also use your hand towel and just wedge it underneath your tailbone. Float your feet softly up to the sky, giving me a soft brace into the feet. Give me a halfway or a full drop and back to your start position. So double leg drop, either halfway down or all the way down, depending on how strong you're feeling through the core and depending on how much you are compensating using your back. So if you're feeling strong, come all the way down. If you feel like you're losing form and you're struggling to draw the legs back, rather give me a halfway drop and then come back to your start position. Keeping control and focusing on the comeback action, using your core to slowly pull the legs back as strongly as you can. So pretend that you're tugging on a little piece of string through the belly button to pull those legs back. So it's the comeback action that's really uber important. Find a gentle rhythm of your own. When you've done your set of reps, you're going to come back into your bridge line. Start with your feet and your knees hip-width distance apart, feet grounded. Tilt your pelvis to 12 o'clock, start peeling up into your bridge line. When you're at the apex of your bridge, come up nice and high on the shoulders and float your toes off the mat as you begin squeezing into the center line and back. Try not to lose the height of that bridge. Shoot for between 5 and 10 big squeezes. If you find that keeping the toes off the mat is too much, just ground your feet and come back to your first squeeze with the feet grounded. Otherwise, toes off. Once you've done your 10, peel softly back down, trying to keep the toes off the mat until you've found your way back into neutral before relaxing the feet into the mat. Arms at your side, palms down, or hands tucked underneath the bottom. Float both legs up to the sky and give me a soft toe line this time. Just a soft toe, but no clawing. Drop one leg either halfway or all the way down to hovering just off the floor before pulling back to your start position. So a single leg drop halfway or all the way down, depending on how strong you're feeling. And if you're struggling to keep your back imprinted into the mat with your core engaged, you might want to scoop to peel up off the shoulders and just claw through your fingertips. Easier to imprint your lower back and forge a really strong connection to your core. Once you've done 10 drops on one side, we're going to change sides. Come back to the mat, extend your legs and float your arms overhead, holding neutral spine as you take a long extended stretch into both sets of fingertips and both sets of toes, allowing for a neutral spine position. Then relax your whole body, nice and limp into the mat. Swim the arms alongside the body, bend your knees, connect the soles of the feet. Let's find a figure 4 stretch on the right. Bend the right knee, take the right ankle, rest it on the left thigh, and splay your knee out to the right. Take a big breath in. On the exhale, float your left knee up to 90 and hold that stretch. Thinking knee to nose on the left. Scoop to peel up off your shoulders, maybe creeping your hands towards the edge of the mat. Hold. If you'd like to, you can wrap your hands around the back of your thigh, and then see if you can peel your head and your shoulders back to the mat. Relax your chin, relax your neck. Scoop to peel back up. Start bending the top leg and see if you can Wrap your hands around the shin on the left. Then see if you can bleed your head and your shoulders back to the mat without pointing your chin up to the sky, so back of your neck is totally soft and relaxed. Then gently uncouple, hug both knees in towards your chest, cradle rock your lower back out. We're going to do that little figure 4 on the opposite side, but let's take a little stretch first. Tap your toes to the mat, extend your arms and your legs, reach as long as you can. So nice little flat belly, neutral spine, reach as long as you can through your fingertips and your toes. Then bend your knees, connect the soles of the feet, just swim the arms alongside the body and set up your figure 4 frame on the left. Big breath in, right knee to nose and hold. Then scoop to peel up off your shoulders, start creeping your fingertips towards the edge of your mat. Nice contraction through the core, hold. Or maybe you'd like to wrap the hands around your right thigh, interlacing the hands, making a little basket. And then easing your head and your shoulders back to the mat, trying to keep as soft as you can through the head and the neck, while drawing the right leg closer towards your nose. Hold. Then scoop to peel up, start dropping the right foot. And then see if you can re-wrap your hands around the right shin bone this time. Peel your head and your shoulders back to the mat, a little bit more intense this time. Give yourself a couple of moments here in your figure 4 stretch. Then unbind. Wrap your hands around the shins, gently cradle rock your lower back out. And give yourself one long stretch again, tapping your toes to the mat, extending your legs, extending your arms. Maybe this time you'd like to interlace your hands, invert them, kick into the heels of the feet and the heels of your palms as you take a little extended stretch here. And then close off your playtime on the mat today by just bending your knees, connecting the soles of the feet, maybe bringing your hands together in thanks. Thank you so much for coming out and playing with me today. I do hope that you enjoyed today's class. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Remember to shoot me your comments below. Make sure your notifications are on. Until we meet on the mat again, keep it light.